Hello. Thanks for joining the session on the course that your student is enrolled in here at LT, our senior English dual credit reading, writing, and inquiry, RWI. I'm here in my classroom where I'm meeting every day. We're kind of starting class as we always do. Typically, the students will access the class via our link on Canvas. It takes them to the waiting room, and then once the bell rings, I let them in, take attendance that way, and then we meet just as we are now while I'm seated in the classroom talking with them about what we will do for the day. So then from here, I will typically share the PowerPoint of the day, which I have posted on Canvas, and I post each day on Canvas, and it walks us through our synchronous activities, the different kind of reading and responding we will do, which I'll talk about later. But before I break out into the slide share, I wanted to point out the two textbooks we have for this class. The first one is Writing Analytically. Both of these books are required texts from IU, Indiana University, which has trained us to teach this course. This is an interesting book because the editors, it's based in research the editors did across the university. And what they wanted to find out was, what are the essential skills that students must have irrespective of their major? So they interviewed professors teaching science and engineering and art and in the medical field and in the liberal arts. And in discussing with faculty what they felt like what skills students needed, they developed this text based on the essential skills that all students want to walk into the university, or at least leave this class into the university, knowing and being able to do. The theory is that knowing how to do and write analytically as they outline it will lead them to better success and greater reward in college. So that's like the mantra of this textbook, which has been the focus for our class the last couple of days. And then alongside the textbook, we have an anthology, Writing and Reading for ACP Composition, which is a collection of essays that we'll be looking at and discussing throughout the semester. So those are the two required materials that we have for the class, and every day that we're working, we have been using one or both of these books. And so, so just to let you know, hopefully you've seen them around and out wherever your student is doing his learning for the day. Okay, so now I'm going to share the slide and we'll dive into the details of what the class is about. Bear with me here. Okay. So at this point, you should be seeing the slide from Indiana University, and perhaps I'm appearing in the corner of your screen. So welcome to W131, Reading, Writing, and Inquiry. My name is Christopher Bass. You have my email there. This is the first year we're teaching this course at LT. So we are very excited to talk to you about the new course. Okay, so in this 10 minutes, we have about 7 minutes left here. We'll talk a little bit about me, but we'll focus mostly on the course. What are the course goals, course and grading breakdown, how does Canvas work, and the school year as a whole. I think because this is a dual credit class, it might be helpful for you guys to get a better sense of what this new course is that's going on. So we'll focus for sure on the new stuff we are doing here at LT. So a little bit of information about me. So this is kind of the standard breakdown. I attended Millikan University, which is it's funny to think of, has the student population of roughly the size of North Campus, 2,000 students. So I swam at the university as well. I competed all 4 years. I attended there, and I was a double major. I was a double major in English literature and French literature. And I'm actually certified to teach both in Illinois. I got my teacher certification and training, and I did my student teaching through a program affiliated with the University of Chicago in Hyde Park. And then after that, I taught in varying suburbs and ultimately ended here at LT. I've been at LT for 10 plus years. Relatively quickly after starting at LT, I began a master's in English studies program at Middlebury College in Vermont. And it was a residency program. So I would teach during the school year, and then the day after school got out here, I moved to Vermont and studied on campus in Middlebury. And then about a week before school started here, I moved from Vermont back home, and I studied, this led me to studying in Vermont, in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and in Lincoln College, Oxford, England. And then a couple years after I got my master's in English, I decided, well, I guess I'll just keep going. So I began my PhD program in English studies at the University of Illinois at Chicago. And as of now, I have 160-ish pages of my dissertation done, the third draft of it. And so I hopefully am set to defend that dissertation and graduate with my doctorate by the end of the semester. So we'll see how all this stuff comes together. So like I just mentioned earlier, I've been teaching at LT 10 plus years. I have taken a couple years off recently. Last year I was home on paternity leave with my newborn son and wife while also studying at UIC. I took a year leave a couple years ago to teach at UIC and focus on my studies there. I've also taught at Purdue University for students who are in Chicago, so studying remotely. I would oversee their work in the city. So that's a little bit about me. That's my education. And so now we'll focus mostly about what you're interested in, which is the course goals. So our goals for the class, and all of this is developed by Indiana University. So Indiana wants the goals of this class to be for students to employ strategies to view writing as a process, requiring attention to detail, engage in a revision process, read critically, summarize, apply, analyze, and synthesize, engage in inquiry-driven research, prove a well-developed thesis, follow genre conventions for the varying genres we look at, and utilize proper grammar and structure to help develop ethos and logos in writing. Ultimately, students will become better readers, writers, and thinkers throughout the course, and will be able to apply what they learn to any field of study at any university. Interesting thing is the way this course is broken down. We are following basically 3 major units that IU has designed. The first unit we are in right now, and we have just assigned micro theme number 1, which is worth 50 points. The students have that today, and I'm recording this on, I think, September 3rd, and it will be due September 13th. So I believe by the time you're watching this, they should have that done. I will be getting into micro theme number 2, summary and critique. And then finally, come around November, we dive into, or rather end of October, we dive into essay number 1, comparative critique. And then we go into unit number 2, micro theme number 3, and essay 2. That's roughly the month of November. And then unit 3 is from Thanksgiving through winter break, which is another micro theme, and then a research-based project. While each assignment on the left is considered a summative and will count towards the student's final grade in the course, the work we do leading up to the due dates will help the students practice strategies and move them through the writing process. So we're constantly trying to apply strategies that we read about in the textbook and work on different ways to approach the material that IU is giving us. The total, and then there is a commonplace book with 100 points. So according to the IU grading scale, which we also have to follow, the course has a total of 1,000 points. And you'll notice on the left the exact point breakdown. And this is also in our syllabus, which is also posted on Canvas. So you can look at it anytime. I wanted to clarify what the commonplace book is. So this is where most of our work during class should be happening. The commonplace book for us this semester is similar to what we would typically have as a class journal or workbook. It's now just a very long Google Doc. The students shared it with me, created and shared it with me on the first day of the course. And ultimately, it is holistic grading with formative benchmarks on a scale of 1 to 3. We've reviewed the rubric scale, and that also is posted on Canvas. All work being done in class and some of the work being done out of class should occur in this document. This document allows us to do synchronous oversight, and it allows me to give synchronous oversight and feedback during instruction. So one of the key things we're doing during student learning, during our 75-minute learning time, is allowing students to work on exercises from the book that help contribute to skills we need for these graded summatives. And while they are working in their commonplace book, practicing these skills, I am able to give them feedback live in the Google Doc, which has been kind of great for me to be able to see and help as they're working. And students can also ask questions as we go. So this is what IU calls the skill crescendo. So we are currently in this unit 1, focusing on summary and critique. And then we'll move to learning how to read other sources, summarize other sources, and use those sources as a lens to analyze. And then ultimately doing larger research project and larger thematic work. All the other Indiana policies are posted in our syllabus. You want to notice that attendance, the students are allowed 4 absences. Anything over 4 absences does lead to a 3rd letter grade deduction. And also you might want to note the revision policy, which assures that we practice and focus on the writing process, but students are not allowed to revise summative work. Okay, that is the talk for today. Our Canvas page is broken down into modules, and so you could always revisit anything I reviewed or anything we're doing can always be checked on Canvas. And please check in with me if you ever have any questions or concerns. Thank you for your time. Have a good rest of the night. I need to stop share.